Welcome back, everyone. It's Ready or Not.
Football edition. I'm Nate the Great.
I'm Chris Stacks, and we're going into week 13.
Week 13, yep. So 3 more weeks. We mentioned it on the last podcast.
Yep.
But we're
closing in
right around the corner.
We're closing in.
And I have some work to do.
Yes, you do, actually.
And I have other people that have work to do.
I think everybody but your brother has work to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody's in danger if the wrong thing happens. Now, looking at the waiver wire for the week, it was quiet, but there wasn't a lot there.
Yeah.
It was much quieter than usual.
This point in the season, everyone kind of has who they need. Not a lot of dark horses coming out of the woodworks.
Barring any major, injuries, things like that. I saw that your brother picked up Mike White.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a very interesting breakdown the other day on the perfect quarterback, and it broke down everything about Mike White. I was like, that's an interesting way to put it, but okay. And it also said that he was Zach Wilson's dad.
I didn't see that one.
Oh yeah, it was funny. You picked up Kenny Pickett going into the playoffs. It could be that could be a dark horse.
Could be, but I mean, mainly that pickup is in case Fields doesn't come back.
True.
So
makes sense.
Fields is my main, obviously, right now,
Yeah.
along with Jackson. But Pickett could back up, see how he does. He could have an easy game this week, so against Falcons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw Tebow picked up Cole Kmet.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing the roulette of Cole Kmet now. See what he does.
That was your favorite game.
He's either huge or he's terrible. It's a rough bout.
Cole Kmet and then Taysom Hill, both ones that.
Yeah.
Which one's showing up this week?
Pretty much. And then obviously Will also got Zonovan,
Yep.
replacing Michael Carter. He stepped in. He played well in the snaps he had. Just seeing how they use him, and also now that the gentleman who they got from the Jacksonville Jaguars, if he is not an active scratch this week, where does that put him? That's my biggest question with them. Does he all of a sudden jump, James Robinson? Does he jump from an active scratch to top of the list?
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a feeling I don't think my brother really needs him. Probably just hold on to him.
Yep. No, smart. I was actually
and also play a spoiler for others.
Yeah. I know. I was looking at it. Going to the.
Well, you picked up Knox.
Yep.
So again.
Yep.
Let's see if you are you gonna switch out him out again.
But at least I'm looking
we'll
at
see.
it.
Well, you looked at him last week.
Yeah, just for a minute.
And then put
I was window shopping.
And how'd that go for you?
Terrible. Games of the week or the NFL games?
I also picked up Thielen.
Why haven't you picked up Thielen?
Which could be.
I can read off everybody's name, but I don't think it's going to be a huge.
I think Thielen. I told you. I think Thielen's going to be your downfall this week.
And I told you, I'm glad you're having really good dreams.
They're all right. But it's a games this week. Yes.
Yes. All right. Start at the top.
Start at the top.
Who you got? Buffalo, New England.
Buffalo, New England. I have Buffalo.
How much are they favored by?
-4, and they're not at home, so 7.
So 7, give or take. Okay. Yeah, I got Buffalo. Pitt, Atlanta.
I have Pitt.
I have Pitt.
Okay.
Denver, Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Green Bay, Chicago.
Green Bay.
I've got Green Bay.
That's really barring Justin Fields.
Yeah.
As it stands, because even if Rodgers is out, I think Love can do
Love
it.
can do it too. Yep.
So yeah, Packers.
Detroit and Jacksonville.
This one was rough for one. I'm going Lions.
So am I.
All right.
And I went back and forth on that one.
That was one of the ones I was like, this is.
What was the spread on that one?
The spread is a -1 Jags, and Lions are at home, so it's
really 4 Jags. It's close though. I think that's a close one. I'm gonna go with Detroit.
Yeah.
Cleveland and Houston.
I have Cleveland on that one.
So do I.
That one,
Hard to pick Houston.
Hard to pick Houston, and I'm curious to see what Watson does on this first
I think
back.
this is a lucky time for Watson because I'm not expecting a lot, but they have Nick Chubb.
They Nick Chubb, but also, I mean, the Texans obviously aren't who they were, but that was still his old team, so he might.
Oh yeah,
it was like dissected.
Houston actually gives up some of the least points to quarterbacks.
Interesting. Well, let's see if that works for Watson.
Just like I said last week with Tua.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Jets, Minnesota.
Oof. This one was a rough one.
I went back and forth on this one.
I'm leaning Vikings.
I'm leaning Vikings as well.
If Kirk Cousins shows up, it's Vikings hands down.
Yeah. I'd say it's a Jefferson and Cook question. Jefferson and Cook play well?
Well, that's where I think Thielen is going to come in.
So you think they're going to shut down Jefferson?
I think they're going to try to. So
I can see them try to.
I'd say try because
I think
remember we talked a couple weeks ago where you said, I don't remember what team it was, you said they're going to shut down Jefferson.
Diggs. Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, they did not. Jefferson was all over that. Now, obviously...
No. Last week he was all over it. Trayvon, he scored very little. They were actually shocked at how little. I think it was last week, I said it against New England, which he went off.
Well, I don't remember which week it was, but I remember you said they were probably going to shut him down, and they didn't. Oh, yeah.
It was against New England, because I thought they were going to shadow Jefferson, and it didn't work. Yeah. He caught everything and
well, he just leapt over 2-3 people. It didn't matter. Yeah. So, but that being said, I still think Thielen will be open, and I think that'll be a big factor in them beating the Jets. Obviously, their defense will have to do work against Mike White, who's a quarterback they're not familiar with.
Right.
They only have one game to go on that one.
Yep.
So, but I'm still leaning towards Vikings. But that one that can go either way. I'm not sold
Jets
on
defense
Vikings.
is solid.
Mm-hmm.
Solid. Washington, the Giants.
Also, another one I was going back and forth on. I'm leaning Commanders.
So am I.
Well, good thing we're not doing the bet on this week.
Tennessee and Philadelphia.
I'd say Eagles. But
I'm actually leaning towards Tennessee, but I'm going to go Eagles. I think it's going to be very close.
I would not be surprised if Titans win, but...
Miami, San Francisco.
Miami. What was wrong with Miami?
I think it's funny how quickly you went with that. I'm going with Miami, but this was one I definitely went back and forth on. I went back and forth.
I did not.
Seattle and the Rams.
Seattle.
This
is Seattle needs to keep winning to maintain their playoff berth.
Yep. Kansas City and Cincy.
Kansas City.
I went with Kansas City. It actually took me a second. If Mixon was 100%, I think I would take Cincinnati in this one.
I mean, that is not unfair. But, we'll see, because the Bengals might be a team that Chiefs can't do their signature start slow and come back later.
Yeah.
But Chargers, Raiders. Chargers.
I've got the Chargers.
I don't even know why I'm writing this. We're already picking the same teams.
Dallas.
Okay. You need to say the other new team. Saints, Bucks. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Wow. We're in agreement.
Wow. I think that's the first time this year that we've been 100%, literally across the board. Yeah. Very rare.
So we're either
terrible or we're looking really good.
We're like in the middle.
Okay, so even better. We get to speed up to the games this week for our fantasy. So we're gonna throw a little wrench. We're gonna throw a little monkey wrench in there. And since
monkey wrench, just a little extra treat for them.
It is a treat, but it's a monkey wrench into the normal.
I guess so.
Into the normal routine. So this week, since Nate and I are playing each other, right now I'm projected 53%. He is projected 47%. I'm 7-5. He is 5-7. I have one loss. So I'm sitting on currently. He's on a 1-win streak. And that's not a streak yet.
It's not a streak. Yeah,
he's at 1 win. He's at 1 win.
Be after this. Well, no, you still need 3. It'll be after next week.
You guys either go on the YouTube video, or I'm going to post probably some of this on Instagram. Go on and let us know, and I'll put a picture. Who's going to win, myself or this guy?
It's going to be this guy. He's already pointing at me. That's when you're pointing at the winner.
So you tell us who's going to win this week. Now looking at Team 3 TEs, Will versus Champ. Right now, Will is projected 59% over 41%. She does have all of her spots filled. Doesn't mean she won't move anybody around. And believe me, Champ, I would love for you to win just because I want to see Will lose a notch going into the playoffs. Maybe mess up some of his mojo. But Will, your team looks good this week. I like the games you're against. Even Ramondre Stevenson against Buffalo. I think he's still going to get his 10, 12 points. It's not going to be a 0 game.
Right.
I don't see anybody that's going to be zeroed. Keenan Allen probably scares me a little bit. And the Bucs defense, in case New Orleans decides to play one of those games where they actually remember how to play football, that could be not a 10-point week for them. It could be a 0-point week. But other than those two, I like his roster.
Yeah,
Hers I see holds.
Well, Allen, I think, is going to do well. Division game against New England, he's going to put up points. Then we got Cousins, I mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Which Cousins showing up?
Yep.
That's going to be a tough defense he's against.
Which Jets defense shows
it's
up.
a tough defense, so he needs to put in the work. He needs to get the ball to Jefferson, get the ball to Thielen, give the ball to Dalvin Cook, which I need him on my team anyway, so give it to him, and we'll see who shows up. Then we got Zeke. If Cowboys use Zeke,
he could have a great week. He could have a great week.
He's against the Colts. I mean, he could be running over them, but
he could do
is it
better.
going to be Zeke?
He could do better. Well, I mean, his last two games have been 17 and 16.
Yeah, but did they use Zeke or did they use Pollard?
With their defense, I don't think they're going to need Pollard as much. Pollard's their gadget guy. He's their, let's get you outside, etc. Zeke is just running people over right now.
Fair enough, but do they want to res Zeke?
True.
So obviously Justin Jefferson. So she has a stack with Cousins Jefferson.
Yep.
That could prove very beneficial.
Yep.
Evans.
I don't love Evans right now.
I don't love Evans right now.
He could go to the
but
Arctic
against
and not
the
catch
Saints. But against the Saints, this might be the game that gives him back his confidence.
We'll see.
So we'll see on that one. Kittle had a bad week last week.
Yep.
Miami's not great against tight ends, so he could get that. I hope not for Miami's sake.
Yep.
But also, I do want my brother to win because I need champ to lose so I can make it in the playoffs. Kind of help me out. Ayuk, we'll see Ayuk. Ayuk's been.
Well, you skipped over Garrett Wilson. Garrett could be somebody that puts up 15 points.
Oh, I actually picked up Garrett in one of my other leagues. Yes, he could be. Yeah, with Mike White with that new quarterback.
Yep.
He could do work. He's only projected 8.62. That could easily be 12, 13.
I think it'd be 15.
15? Yeah. Kickers, Vikings. Vikings defense against the Jets, I wouldn't play.
I don't know, because if Mike White and Garrett Wilson connect, that could be dangerous for the Vikings.
I know. I wouldn't play Vikings defense. And as of right now, she doesn't have a backup one, but we'll see.
We'll see.
So, but
yeah, I'm going with your brother, and I'd say the difference right now to me is pretty close to exactly what their projection is. 20-point spread, 18-point spread, something like that. Based on seeing these.
Based on seeing these, yeah. Roughly, I mean, honestly, could be more considering how my brother usually over.
Oh yeah, but you've got Zeke could have a great week.
Well,
Jefferson could have a great week. Kittle could have a great week. Wilson could have a great week.
Yeah,
they all have a great week, and it's closing. It's keeping up with him having good weeks.
Right. So yeah, about the same. About somewhat.
All right, and then lastly, Belichick
We
yourself.
only did one so far.
No, that's the second one. We did. Oh no, you're right. What did I do? Oh, I skipped over replacements. So replacements versus Steiger. I went through this one back and forth, because obviously I'd love to see Steiger take a win and push replacements down below me a little bit more. And obviously right now the replacements is over, but Hopkins got to come out of his lineup still. And
he puts Higgins in Hopkins' spot, and Steiger's ahead in projection.
Okay. Now, somebody that I did. So Christian McCaffrey scares me this week. I want to know if he's good to go. Josh Jacobs scares me this week with that calf. If he's willing to play through it and they let him, then I'm good. Him against the Chargers, hell yes, he's going to score 20. The Colts against Dallas, I don't love that as a defensive play. I would highly
definitely not. Yeah,
I would highly recommend checking out somebody else this week, whether it's Zeke, Pollard, CD, Gallup, Dak running it in himself. Like there could be a lot of points there.
Negative points.
A lot of negative points. Yeah, I like Goff. Brady, I think this could be a good a go-to game for him. He's actually on pace to be the #1 quarterback in yards again this year.
Really?
They just haven't scored.
That's true, because I remember he had the 2 or 3 weeks that he didn't have the touchdown.
Yeah.
But he's getting the ball there, he just can't complete.
So I think there's a positive regression coming there. But I love Metcalf, I love Watson. I'm going to say Brown, I love this week. AJ, I'm 50-50 on. Eckler, I love. Chubb, I love.
T. Higgins, put some T. Higgins here.
Mahomes, I like. Watson, I'm not sold on. I think that could be a 15-point week. Could be a 14, 15 point win.
I have no way of basing that on any real information right now.
If he's still
besides
athletic,
the fact that he hasn't, if he's, I don't know what he's been doing
Supposedly he's busting his ass.
He's been busting the ass, so hey, I mean I hope so. He's had plenty of time to do so. Would you rather he put in Wilson?
No. I was like, who? No. Yeah, I mean, looking at this, going back and forth, I would actually, the fact that he's got Singletary as a backup against New England, I like. He's got Higgins in the waiting, and they actually used Dillon last week for the first time. And I don't love Mark Andrews against Denver, actually. I would play Schultz. Indianapolis is not good against the tight end. This is actually going to be a really close one to me. If CMC and Jacobs play, Steiger takes it.
Oh, 100%. If Jacobs has half the game he had last week.
Yeah, 50 points. I'd say if Jacobs and McCaffrey both play the whole game, Steiger wins.
I mean, I don't even think they need to play the whole game, but I think Steiger wins. And plus, if he wins and I win,
oh, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal.
I catch up in record.
All right, now, last game. Belichick yourself against the King's Jesters. This one, Justine, as much as I went through it, I know you got to replace Kyler.
We just got Mariota against Pittsburgh. Could put up some points, but
could be decent. I'd look and see if there's anybody else. Obviously, she's got Mixon on the bench. If he's going to play, if he's good to go, that's a heck of a lot better than Kenyon Drake. But still looking at it, let's say that 18 points from a quarterback. That puts her at 138. And then let's say she gets an extra 10 from the running back position. That puts her at 148.
138.
Sorry, 138.
That puts her right there.
Puts her right there, but I like.
So if,
for King's Jesters,
we need to know if ETN plays. And they said they're confident he will.
Yeah,
but we'll see. Derrick Henry against Philadelphia.
I like it.
I like Henry. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I think
like
he
Henry.
can run over them. Godwin, if he has a repeat of last week against New Orleans.
Love him right now.
Yeah.
Love him.
Pittman, we'll see.
So I don't think Pittman's a big enough name yet where Trayvon will travel. So Pittman will get some good matchups.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's going to go off.
Jamar Chase. Will Jamar Chase play this week?
I think he's back. Because last week was questionable and he didn't. So this week I
gave him an extra week to rest. Yeah. Okay.
They don't have
Patriots defense against Buffalo though. I wouldn't play.
No, I would not either. It is interdivision, but
Cardinals and Chargers. Yeah. So I wouldn't put Jones against that. So Najee has Najee out. Is he gonna put Najee in?
Hope not for Najee's sake. Alan Lazard to me is somebody that needs to be on the bench. Tyreek against San Francisco, depending on how much they use him, that could be a big deal. Lockett against the Rams could be a big deal. I don't love Devontae Smith right now. As you said, is it going to be a Pollard or a Zeke game, or are they going to use them both?
Mm-hmm.
Dak, I like. I would love to say Belichick, but I have to go King's Jesters right now.
Yeah, no, I'm going King's Jesters. But this is going to be a close game.
Okay. So we're pretty much on the same page with everybody right now. So
except for our game.
So guys, you go on. You, like I said, comment on the YouTube video. Let us know who you think is going to win. Is it going to be Nate or myself going into this week?
And let us know how much you think I'm going to win by.
Let us know how much you think he's going to lose by.
Negative points.
But guys, that is it for the projections for week 13. As he said, we got 3 weeks left before playoffs.
Oh, before we forget, 2 weeks, 2 teams on bye. We have Cardinals and Panthers. It doesn't look like anyone will besides Kyler Murray.
Justine yet. Justine and then Hopkins for Steiger, right?
Hopkins for
Steiger. And then if anybody's got Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, which I didn't see.
I didn't see him in there. Maybe they took him out or something. But so it doesn't look like that's going to be a big issue. But just remember to make those changes.
As we mentioned on Tuesday, right now, Team 3 TE's sitting in first, and it looks like he's actually got it locked up. He's got the star now.
Yeah.
So Team 3 TE's sitting in first. You've got King's Jesters in second, myself in third. The replacements in fourth, up one game on Champ and Nate the Great, sitting in fifth and sixth, tied, but obviously points differential. And then Belichick yourself sitting in seventh, and Steiger in last, but honestly, he could make a run to knock somebody else in the toilet bowl.
Yeah. If he wins the rest of the games, he'll be 6-9. Honestly, that's not going to get him into the playoffs. But one, can help me get into the playoffs. But two, like I said, he doesn't have to come in last.
Right. Oh yeah, that's a big deal. You don't want to be last. I might have a present for them. All right. Well, folks, love it. I'm excited for football this weekend. There's some great games. I can't wait to watch the Cowboys pound some people. I can't wait to see. Honestly, I'm very curious to see what the Miami San Francisco game. I think that's the game of the week, as far as showing what's going into the playoffs.
It's in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's in San Francisco.
We never get 4:00 games.
Well, that's why we're friends of. And then I think the Minnesota Jets game. So there's gonna be some great games.
Yeah.
Be ready for next week.
I think the Jags Lions game could be good as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It doesn't have a lot of playoff, pertinency or playoff stigma behind it. It's not going to change a whole lot, but it's going to be a good game. But be ready. Make sure you get your guys moved around, your ladies moved around. Tomorrow night is Thursday night game, so get your Thursday night players out of
your flex
spots, and we will see you on Tuesday next week.